Good day! Welcome back to another video. Now, I will going to discuss the Arson. Before that, I'm Rainiel A. Sarmiento and I present to Dr. Elenita G. Cuenca. Okay, let's start. Lesson objectives: define arson. Explain fire triangle. Our first slide is describe the nature of arson as a crime. Arson is typically defined as the malicious burning of property. The general definition of arson means that somebody deliberately or intentionally set fire to a property in order to destroy it with a criminal intent. The person who decides to burn dead leaves in a backyard is normally not charged with arson, as it is her own property and there is no criminal intent. Criminal intent can be very broad. It includes gain or profit, fraud, prosecution, or causing injury. The crime of arson is very serious offense, punishable by several years of imprisonment. Okay, second slide. Describe the motives, reason for arson. Explain how their motives were used in criminal investigation. There are different motives for committing arson, and they are usually classified into categories such as profit, spite, excitement, crime, concealment, and vandalism. First, arson for profit includes all arson committed with the expectation of obtaining a gain from the perpetrator. It is important to note that the perpetrator does not necessarily need to obtain a gain, but to show the intent that gain was going to be obtained. The gain can be direct or indirect. Example of direct gain would be the collection of an insurance money for the replacement of a burn house. Indirect gain would be an increase of business by eliminating the competition who was doing business across the street. Arson for spite is also known as the arson for revenge. This type of arsonist wants to ink revenge against a person, a group or person, an organization or institution, or against society in general. Next is arson for excitement. Is committed by people who are bored, in need of attention, or sexually stimulated by the crime of arson. These criminals are considered dangerous as they do not have a particular target and will burn in place or thing that will be fulfill their need to excitement, attention, or get them the recognition they think they deserve. Because of the random nature of excitement motivated organism, when one organism commits several burning acts, they are often difficult to profile. Arson for crime concealment is performed when criminals try to hide another crime. For example, after murdering an individual, the house is set on fire, destroying the body and much of evidence of the murder activities. Last, arson for vandalism is typically performed by young criminals or juvenile fire setters for no apparent reason. Like schools or educational facilities are often the target of such crime. Okay, next. Third slide, describe and explain the fire triangle and its components. The fire triangle is a model for conveying the components of a fire. The fire triangle three slides illustrate the three elements of fire, which are heat, fuel, and oxidation. The three elements must be combined in the right proportion for a fire occurs. If any of the three elements are removed, the fire is extinguished. The first element in the fire triangle is heat, which is perhaps the most essential of fire elements. A fire cannot ignite unless it has a certain amount of heat, and it cannot grow without heat either. One of the first things firefighters do to extinguish a fire is to apply a cooling agent, usually water. Another cooling agent is the chemical fire retardant, such as the used in fire extinguisher. Another method of diffusing heat from a fire is to escape the embers from the fire source, such as wood embers on a burning building. Firefighters will also turn off the electricity in a burning building to remove a source of heat. The second element in fire triangle is fuel. A fire needs a fuel source in order to burn. The fuel source can be anything that is flammable, such as wood, paper, fabric, or chemicals. Once the fuel elements of the fire triangle is removed, the fire will go out. If a fire is allowed to burn without any attempt to extinguish, it will extinguish on its own when it's resume all of the fuel. The final element of the fire triangle is oxygen, which is also an essential component of fire. A fire needs oxygen to start and continue. That it is why one recommendation for extinguishing a small fire is to smother it with a non-flammable blanket, sand, or dirt. It decreases in the concentration of oxygen, retards the combination process in large fire where firefighters are called in diminishing the amount of oxygen is not usually an option because there is no infection way to and that happen in an extended area. Okay, fourth slide describe the procedure for the collection of arson evidence. There are many physical clues that are suggest arson is a fire cause. They include burn pattern, multiple origin or unusual origin location. Second, presence, absence, and or condition of ignition key. Third, ignition lock switch condition. And fourth, acceleration is unexpected location. Fifth, missing accessories, components, or personal property. Sixth, component that have a be tempered with evidence of force entry. And 7, metal content in engine for transmission lubricants. 8, physical damage or abuse to vehicle. Okay, next. Our last slide is describe the two elements of the alleged arson and prosecution. In all prosecution for arson, there are two elements of the alleged crime which the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt. First, that the fire was caused by the willful criminal act of some person. Second, the identity of defendant as one reasonable for the fire. Both of these elements may be established by direct or positive evidence or by circumstantial evidence of both. A conviction may be sustained although that is no direct evidence of the guilt of the accused. As in other criminal cases, one may be convicted of arson or circumstantial evidence. Whether the evidence is direct or circumstantial, the sum broad rule applies, and that rule requires the proof to show the guilt of the accused beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, that is it. This is the end of my video presentation. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit the notification bell so that you are updated on my videos.